Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Rookie Card Collector 123 video. Today's video, I'm going to get back to my series highlighting 10 of the top rarest cards for many baseball stars. Starting out primarily doing pre-war guys. I'm also going to cover post-war, mainly Hall of Famers, but also some non-Hall of Famers who probably one day deserve to get into the Hall. So today's episode, I'm going to feature Walter Johnson, the big train, star pitcher for the Washington Senators. Began his career around 1907 and would pitch for them all the way up till the 1930 timeframe, where he also became a manager for the Senators at that point. So going to start off things with the number one card. As usual, I'm going to do this in chronological order. So we're going to start with the earliest cards first. First card we're going to look at is this one here. Many people would consider this one to be Walter Johnson's true rookie card. This is the 1908 to 1909 Rose Company postcard. You can see the nice portrait of Johnson inside the oval with the baseball bats and the diamond in the background. A lot of people think this is one of the most beautiful card sets, and specifically postcard sets of the early pre-war era. And this card predates any other Walter Johnson rookie cards that were issued, several from the 1909 timeframe. So this is a year earlier, and the very first Walter Johnson. These are extremely rare. I believe the population report for graded on these is somewhere around three copies or so between PSA and SGC. This was a rookie card I searched for myself for a very long time, back in the earlier 2000s when I was doing the Baseball Hall of Fame rookie card collection that I had. And never was able to pick this one up. So 1908-09 Rose Company, Walter Johnson, rookie card. Next one up we're going to cover is the 1910. This one's an oversized item, not really a card. This is called an S as in Sam 81 Silk Premium. These are actually made out of silk material. With the color image of the player at the center. And these are pretty large. I don't have measurements here in front of me. I believe they're somewhere around 8 by 10. And the edges tend to be really frayed on these, being made out of the material. And silk is a pretty thin material, so they do not stay in as good a shape as the blankets that were produced in the 1914 era, the B-18 blankets. These are much tougher to find than those, and much tougher to find in nice condition, like the example that's pictured here. So 1910 S81 Silk Premiums, Walter Johnson. These are premiums from a tobacco product that you would mail in for. Okay, next up will be card number 3. This one's an actual card. It's cataloged as 1910 WUNC, which means it's actually uncatalogued. It's a strip card. It looks like a strip card. And this comes from a set of 26 American League. It's about half American League and half National League. And these cards were not produced in strips. These were actually cut from notebook covers, children's notebook covers from the 1910 era. And there's a lot of big names in this WUNC. It's called a strip card set. Ty Cobb is on here. Tris Speaker's on here. Honus Wagner's on here. And obviously Walter Johnson's on here, among several other Hall of Famers. Very hard to find these. Again, population numbers on these, probably somewhere in the 10 to 12 kind of range, maybe. Something like that. Possibly less than some of the players. And I really like this set. There's quite a few unique images. They're in color. And for some reason, I just like them. Even the fact that they're cut from notebook cover doesn't really bother me. So 1910 WUNC Walter Johnson. Okay, I'm going to move on to our fourth card here. And this one's going to be a super rare one, like population numbers probably under 5 for just about everybody in this set. This is from a Washington Times newspaper card set. This was produced also 1910. And these were duotone cards that are produced in all red and white. And many of the top stars from the era, again, are in this set. We looked at the Ty Cobb in our rare Ty Cobb card episode. Honus Wagner's also in there, and many other Hall of Famers. Very popular set, although almost nobody collects it because they're so rare. Impossible to find, but again, many unique images. I don't think you'll find this Walter Johnson image anywhere else. And again, from the Washington Times newspaper in 1910. Okay, we're going to move on to our number 5 card. And this one's going to be our first candy card era, picturing Walter Johnson. This one is from, it looks like an orange borders card, but this one is actually from the 1911. It's called Baseball Bats. That was the name of a candy product. And you would see the Baseball Bats name and logo on one side of the box, and the other side of the box would have a picture of a baseball card or a baseball player in a card format. And again, Honus Wagner's in there. Ty Cobb is in there. These are, again, extremely rare. Population numbers probably under 5 on just about everybody in the set. I believe there's a Trish Speaker also. Several big name players, but almost impossible to find. I once had a Honus Wagner from this set, but it was really rough shape, and I ended up selling it to raise funds to buy some other things. But 1911 baseball bats, Walter Johnson. Okay, next up is going to be card number 6. And this is going to be another 1911 issue. This one is basically a cabinet card. It's a real photograph, studio photograph mounted on cardboard backing. A little bigger than the typical traditional cabinet cards of the late 1800s, early 1900s. This was sort of almost like a custom-made cabinet card. But it pictures Johnson. The photography studio that produced these is Jones, Kaiser, and Rarest. There's probably 3 partners making up the photography studio. So these are called Jones, Kaiser, and Rarest cabinets. They were produced in 1911. And some of the most beautiful images of the pre-war players from that era. Not too many cabinet cards at that stage were still being produced. This is one of the last cabinet card sets. A number of big Hall of Famers in this one as well. There's a Ty Cobb. There's a Honus Wagner. I believe there's a Christy Mathewson. So a lot of big names in addition to the Walter Johnson here. Okay, next up, we're going to have card number 7. And that one's going to be another tobacco product, premium. This is the 1911. They're cataloged as T as in Tom 5. And they're Pinkerton cabinets is what the name of the series is. Again, this is going to be similar to the Jones, Kaiser, Rarest cabinets that we just looked at. So it's going to be a real photograph mounted on some sort of cardboard backing. Again, a little different than the late 1800s, early 1900s traditional cabinet style cards. This one pictures Johnson in another, I think, unique pose. And extremely tough to find these T5 Pinkertons. The population numbers I've seen on most of them are 5 and under. And these are about 6x8 or so in terms of size. Okay, next up, we're going to look at item number 8. And this one is one of those that's not a card also. This one is the 1912. They're called Helmar, which is a tobacco brand or a cigarette brand. Helmar leathers. They're actually made out of horsehide leather, kind of similar to a baseball would have been made back in that era, except these are brown. And it's got the player image in the center. This is actually a reused image of Walter Johnson. It appears on his T206 cards and probably a couple of other issues as well. So very popular image of Johnson. These leathers are very rare, hard to come by. They're cataloged as L1 in the standard catalog, American card catalog, and made out of very stiff leather. I do not believe the grading companies grade these at all, so there's no pop report numbers. But I would say they're probably less than 10 of each example still known to exist. Okay, we're going to move on to number 9. And this one's going to be another, obviously, rare issue. This is the 1912. It's called Vassar Sweaters. So that was the name of a company, clothing company. And they produced a line of sweaters and used ball players to market the clothing line. So this is Johnson wearing one of those Vassar sweaters. You can see the Vassar advertising at the bottom of the sweater by his waist belt area. You can see Vassar on there. Black and white, almost like a tall boy style card. So these are longer and narrower. And again, I think a unique image of Walter Johnson. I haven't seen this on anything else. So 1912 Vassar sweaters. Never actually seen one of those cards at all anywhere. And our last card we're going to look at today for Johnson is going to be this one. It's a 1914. It's put out by another clothing company called Boston Garter. And they put out 3 different series. They put out one of them in 1912 and 2 of them in 1914. This one here is the most popular one because the cards are in full color. The other series were more like in a sepia tone or a duotone type of card. But these, again, extremely rare. I think the population on this one is 2 or 3 known to exist. The Walter Johnson, you could see a beautiful color image, baseball diamond, and a picture of a garter toward the bottom with the Boston Garter advertising. Don't think I've ever seen this card come up for sale or auction maybe in 20 years. So super rare. So that's going to wrap up today's episode on Walter Johnson, 10 of his rarest early career playing days cards. I will do another episode or maybe even 2 more episodes on Walter Johnson where we will move forward to more toward the middle of his career and then later in his career and look at some of the rarities that are out there if you're a Walter Johnson collector and maybe learning about some new cards today. So anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys again on the next one.